Hello. We have an amplified subwoofer on a hi-fi system. It's about 10 years old. It's called a Paradigm PDR10. It's got a 10-inch bass driver in it, and it sounded really terrible, I noticed the other day. So I took it apart and found that the speaker's falling to pieces. Let's see if we can fix it. This is the cone speaker that's come out of a bass unit, and you can buy replacement foam around the edge, but you have to glue it in. So the first thing I'm doing is taking this surround off here, and I've tried various things such as blades and what have you, but the best thing I've found so far is actually a big screwdriver you can stick in there. Obviously you've got to be very careful. The thing you really mustn't do is drop this into the cone and break it. If you split this outer gasket, it's not the end of the world, because you can put the pieces back. In fact, when you buy these gaskets, they are sometimes supplied in multiple components, so it's not the end of the world if you break it, but I'm trying not to. But it is the end of the world if you put your screwdriver through the cone. By the way, before you even start, you need to make sure that this can run up and down without scraping. If it scrapes, then it's already beyond repair. But if it's held centrally and it's free to float, then you can repair the speaker. Where these screw holes are, where you've got to be most careful if you're trying not to break it into pieces. Obviously it's much more delicate there. This is pretty much inevitably going to delaminate a bit, but you can decide which is the lamination you're going to keep and glue it all so that it's flat. I think with a bit of glue we can get that pretty flat again. So next I need to clean up the remaining gasket from the surround and the remaining foam from the cone. Right, so what we have here is the speaker, which has been cleaned up. The frame is clean, and the cone, you can see the line there where the original surround was. We have a replacement surround which came from eBay, but I really can't recommend the seller because it was wrapped in this plastic bag. I mean, you would think it would have put it against something flat, wouldn't you? So I've spent some time this morning going over this with a hot air gun, trying to iron out the creases, and hopefully it's good enough. So that will sit there and be glued onto the cone, and then here we have the gasket, and I've done a few minor repairs to the gasket. That'll go on much later. And we also have some tacky glue. Now, one of the things I wanted to do was have a sound that we can put through the speaker to confirm that it's not scraping, that it's running cleanly. And the way I've done that is I have the speakers connected to a 47 ohm resistor and then onto a transformer. Let me show you the transformer. So we have this old transformer with multiple tappings, and I put this together in a case, decades ago. And one of the windings is 20 volts. So we're going to be switching on this 20 volt winding, and that will make a 50 Hertz hum on the speaker. But the speaker and the 47 ohm resistor could get quite warm, so I don't want that on for too long. So I have my helper here, Scott.
Hello.
Who is going to be switching the transformer on and off for me. Right, let's get set up. Right, before we start then, let's just confirm that this transformer thing works. Scott, could you switch it on for about 2 seconds? Perfect, and you heard that that was not rasping at all. That was working brilliantly. Scott, I'd like you to do that several more times as I ask you to when we're manipulating this. It's going to be a few minutes yet because I need to get the glue ready. So I need to apply this glue around this rim. I don't know how runny this glue is. We'll find out in a moment. Let's do a small test. Ah. It's still sealed. Pay attention, Scott. Let's do a quick check to see how this glue flows. Oh, that's okay. So I can run that small bead along the top of the speaker cone. And the reason I chose this glue is that it says it's tacky. So hopefully it won't run down the speaker cone as I'm applying it. So let's start with trying to put a small amount of this around the speaker cone, and I'll smooth it on with something in a moment. So, do I risk getting some of this on my finger and running around with my finger? Oh, I might regret that. Cotton bud. So I've got a little bit too much there, and not quite enough here. I can feel it going tacky already. You don't get long. Right, I think I need to get straight on with applying the cone. Now I thought I'd apply glue to this as well, but I'm not sure I've got time. How quickly can I get some glue on here? Okay, I think I have glue all the way around that edge. Right, I have to get this fitted pretty quickly. And I do have some glue on the top of the cone, but I will just have to ignore that for a moment. Okay, let's go with our first test, Scott, please.
Okay.
No, well, it shook it loose. So, we'll have to bear that in mind. Maybe the transformer route is not the way to go. Maybe it's just going to keep breaking it free, so that might not work, that idea. What I do need to do is find a way to get the cone to adhere to the surround. I'll just clean that up. Could you do something I didn't do, Scott, and read the instructions and tell me how long it takes to set? Alright, let's I think this is working. I think I'll just go around with some IPA to try to clean off a little bit of the excess glue. Does it say if it dries to clear? Does it go clear when it dries?
It does.
It does.
It said that. I'll recheck, but I
Yeah,
believe
PVA glue I think just generally does. So I don't need to worry about a little bit of excess over the edge because you won't see it. Right, I think that's nice and central. It's where we will need the transformer, I think, is stage 2 when we fit this. And we need to make sure that the cone is perfectly centered.
Okay.
But at the moment, I think all we need to do is wait for it to dry, for the glue to set. I'm just taking a look on the underside to make sure that it appears that the surround is central, not to one side of the cone. And it does look very central. Because if it was to one side, the effect would be, as it moves up and down, one side of this would be more stressed than the other, and it would pull the cone off centre, and then voice coil would collide with the magnet at the back, because the clearances are very tight. How set is that glue? I don't know. I'm almost tempted. Shall we connect the transformer up? Is it safe to do so now and test it? Shall we, Scott?
Yeah.
I want it on for just the shortest moment, okay? Because last time, I mean, it wasn't your fault, but last time it was on too long.
On that one.
And it shook itself free. What I'll do is I'm going to put the gasket on so that we don't hear this flapping against the frame. So we want it on for literally a quarter of a second.
Should I press it?
That sounded brilliant. There was no scraping involved there. Well done, Scott. Thank you for your help. Let's come back in a couple of hours. Okay, so the glue has set on the connection between the foam surround and the cone. And it appears to move nicely. There's no scraping. But we'll ask Scott to put the 50 Hertz on. I'm not going to put this on just a moment. Let's see what it sounds like. We might hear the foam touch the edge, but let's listen to it. Ah, right. We're hearing the sound of this foam edge leaping off the frame. I'll have a go at securing the top of the foam like this. So we could use some of those clothes pegs, Scott. That might work. Go on then. Let's see if the 50 Hertz sounds okay. I think so. I think there's a little bit of vibration coming off the general support here, but when it's all glued down, I think we'll be good. There's certainly no scraping there. Right. So all we have to do is glue this on, making sure that these holes line up with the screw holes. Okay, I've put glue all the way around the gasket. Certainly looks good. Right, just switch it on for a second. That was good, wasn't it? There was no vibration on that at all. Good, let the glue set on that, and it should be ready to refit into the cabinet. Well, I made a mistake, although it might have been a good one. Let me show you what I did wrong. What I was supposed to have done was glue the foam edge down to the frame and then put the gasket on the top and glue that down. What I actually did was glue the gasket to the top of the foam, and I had not glued this part down to the frame, and that wouldn't do because there was risk of it shifting. But it may have been a good thing, because it meant that because the gasket was holding the outside edge of the foam in a perfect circle, it wasn't flooping around anywhere. It made it easy then to just apply some glue on the inside of here and put it down without any risk of it going off centre. So that's what I did, and it clearly is free to move. Well, one more time with the 50 Hertz from the transformer. So there's no rasping at all. So that is fixed and ready to go. So next I'll reinstall this into the cabinet of the subwoofer. I've also dated what the date is for having fitted this new foam surround, just in case it ever fails again, and I can see how long it lasted. Hello Chris. Good morning. You're on YouTube. Yeah, because I was just recording a YouTube video. Go on. Well, I hope you've enjoyed me working through this speaker repair. I know I didn't do it brilliantly, but it does work really well in the end. Now, what's my next YouTube video going to be? There's quite a few things I got lined up, but this one I need to do this week. What could it be? Just a teaser. You tell me, what do you think it is? In the meantime, do please remember to like, share and especially subscribe, and I'll do a lot more content on audio and video technology in the near future. Bye for now.